Wow! And out of nowhere, Scourge take out those two science vessels. Just surprising, even to the viewer, the Korean viewer. I guess he didn't see it coming either. Savior just so good with those Scourges when he's good. He just comes out of nowhere and destroys science vessels, and that's really one of the most important parts of Zerg versus Terran. You really got to keep that science vessel count down and really just prevent them from massing up, because otherwise, with the infinite recharges of science vessel irradiates, a Zerg could be in a lot of trouble. And Nada here going for an attack here. Savior doesn't have much. That might be a Nidus Canal morphing up in there in the north. I'm not sure. Savior just has one lurker right now and is sunken. That is a nice canal, actually, but Nada's going to be able to focus fire that down. And Savior not only has about 4 Marines, though, so Nada not successful with that attack again. And, yeah, Savior just picking off, putting damage on those Marines as they pass. I don't think Nada notices that they were just walking away. So, yeah, Nada really... Oh, and Savior gets a Plague off. Very nice. Savior just, I think, taking control of this map, even though he hasn't gotten an attack just yet on Nada. He's really just stopping every attempt that Nada has of attacking him, and in the process, he's going to get a lead economically, and just eventually mass up enough forces that he's going to just destroy Nada. And Nada, playing very well, but not concentrating his forces enough, in my opinion. Or Savior's just defending very well. Actually, I'd say more that Savior's just defending excellently from all the attacks that Nada's making. And phew, I really understand what Klazart means when he says he loses his voice in these commentaries, because I've been doing a couple of them today, and I am losing my voice a little bit. So yeah, I guess it's a hazard of the job. And Nada here, just positioning Marines everywhere in the middle of the map here, is going out for another attack here. And another Dark Storm is going to deny the advance from Nada. Nada has to be careful with those science vessels that are roaming around, because Savior with his Scourge, he's probably got Scourge everywhere. Yeah, there's some more Scourge here. He's probably going to have Scourge everywhere in the map, just looking for science vessels to pick off while they're scouting. And science vessels are just too expensive to be used as scouts in a lot of ways. I see a lot of players being very courageous with their science vessels, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea against a good Zerg player, because you're just going to lose them. And I'll look at this, though. He managed to surprise, Nada managed to surprise a group of Scourge. He's going to take out 2 Scourge there, but Savior moves pretty quickly before the Scourge auto-target the science vessels and get taken out by the Marines. So good save by Savior. And Nada's got a good force now. He might be able to break through here because he's got so many tanks here. Savior's going to put a Dark Storm down. But, oh, look at that. He doesn't take down the science vessels. Nada may actually advance, but Nada is actually getting pushed back by the Dark Storms. Oh, very good Dark Storms and the Lurkers underneath. We just can't damage those Lurkers as a Terran. Just so hard to damage them. You might get some splash damage off if there's more than one unit under a swarm, but when there's just one Lurker burrowed, they're just invulnerable against tanks even. And Savior's just keeping the swarm up to protect his expansion there. I wonder if Savior has any forces in the back again to attempt a flank against Nada, which you need to do against a Terran army that's well positioned like that with all the troops it needs. You really need to attack from different points. And Savior going for another expansion, so he's up to this is his 5th base right now, and Nada's at 3 right now. So Nada's not far behind, though, because he hasn't really been harassed at all, like I said. So I'm waiting for Savior to break out and really attack. But Nada's doing a very good job of keeping Savior on the defense throughout the game, and popping a couple of Lurkers there with his science vessels. And Nada might be able to actually get a contain on the main while he attacks one of these expansions. That could be very bad for Savior if he manages to do that. But Savior looks like he's going to try to break out with a couple of Lurkers there. He's going to take out some more tanks and push Nada back a little bit. Savior just pushing back the contain a little bit, but Nada's still going to have it with those tanks there. Those tanks are very important. And Nada looks like he has about 7 science vessels, and that's a lot of science vessels. They're not getting killed recently by Scourge, so, and a Lone Defiler going out, he's not going to do much. And Savior going for another attack here with the Lings. He's just targeting tanks, which is smart, but he's not necessarily killing the contain. He's just trying to get the individual tanks, but Nada can reinforce those tanks. And He's got a lot of science vessels. He's going to be able to just irradiate lurkers from now on and kill them that way, which is, you know, one of the best ways to deal with them as a Terran player. And it looks like Nada is still reestablishing himself on the front door of Savior's base. And Savior, once again, with another grouping. Nada's done very well here in containing Savior, which is what he needed to do. Not to break in necessarily, but to contain him and then eventually build enough secondary forces. It looks like Savior takes down one science vessel, but he gets a good plague also off of all of Nada's forces. And they're going to be one-hit kills from the Lurker, all the Plague Marines. He looks like he may be breaking out this contain here because Nada's run out of tanks. And Nada's gonna, you know, Nada really needs to keep that contain on Savior and attack one of his expansions and take it out. Nada here with a good grouping here. Let's see if he goes for another attack on the 12. Savior looks like he's got good defenses though with his Nidus canals. And Savior, oh, that's very nice. Nada had a couple of forces still stuck up in the upper left, and Savior decided to just take him out, make sure they didn't do any damage, but he doesn't take him out. Those medics are there, they're healing. So he's going to still have those 2 Marines up there. And Savior, oh, Savior's going for the Plague, very nice Plague. Catches 4 science vessels, and now they're very vulnerable to attack from Mutalisk or Scourge. And he gets a Plague off all the science vessels. Wow, very, very nice. And a little poor by Nada, not anticipating it, seeing the Lone Defiler come up, but the Lone Defiler manages to catch all of the rest of the science vessels in that Plague. And now Savior has Ultralisks. He's got his first Ultra coming out, and that's going to be able to finish off these straggling 2 Marines here. And we'll see what he does with his Ultralisks here. And Nada with his science vessels in a very vulnerable position. I'm not sure if Nada's going to repair them or not. It is very difficult to repair. It takes a while, and during that time you don't have them, but you really don't want to have them at 1 health. Just using a Mutalisk could take out 3 at 1 hit, you know, technically. And Savior going in with some Scourge here. Looks like he did get stopped by the Marines. And Nada sending 1 science vessel out. And he's going to... Oh, look at this. Savior's actually attacking. I actually didn't notice that Nada had an expansion there at the inside 7 o'clock. And Savior's going to take it out now. They didn't show that. But yeah, those Ultralisks just tearing it up. Savior finally going in the attack, waiting for Ultralisks perhaps before he decided to go on attack. And he's going to be very strong here. And Nada has a ramp here, but Savior's got a Dark Swarm at his expansion. And he takes down three science vessels. And his oh, look at that. Another Plague. Just beautiful Defiler play here. And his Ultra is just going to destroy that group of Medic Marines. And the crowd's going wild here. And this is the OSL Finals, you know, most prestigious Star League. It is the final series, so this is a huge crowd here. And Savior taking down another Science Vessel with that Suicide and Mutalisk. And the Plague just dealing so much damage to those Science Vessels. Just putting Nada's Science Vessel count down with, 225 gas or whatever it is. That's a big cost that no one can afford. They're just so expensive to reproduce. And Nada going for an attack on the main, but that's not going to be successful with just Marines here and Ultralisk to fight. And the Ultras look like they're 2-4, I think, or 2-5. But actually, I may be wrong. Nada actually managing to get into the main of Savior. I'm a little surprised. I guess Savior had all of his forces out in the attack. And Nada needs to do some damage here. He does take down all the Ultralisks, and let's see if he kills some of these drones. And Nada actually breaking in entirely into